Ah, kaya ko ng tubig. Yes. Yeah. Gusto ba? Ah,
Ako gusto ko.
gusto mo.
Ah, tingin na. Isa lang tapos.
Okay, wow.
Ang kahit ang katagarian. Kaya nga ako pangulog ka.
Kain ka na, Noy. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Dannallyn Salita, and today I will be discussing my reflection regarding our action plan for workplace harassment. I will be breaking it up in two parts to go into full detail into our entire action plan. So for our action plan, Alyssa and I decided to focus on workplace harassment because we feel that it is still quite significant in today's workplace environment. Workplace harassment unfortunately remains a prevalent issue that affects people in various industries, whether it's verbal, psychological, or physical harassment. It has real lasting impact on employees' well-being, job performance, and overall workplace culture. We felt like it was crucial to address this issue, not only because of its widespread occurrence, but because of the direct harm it causes to individuals and the organizations they work for. Strengthen our focus, we reference chapter 7 and 8 of the Women Gendered Violence in Canada by Brockert and Law. These chapters helped us understand how harassment is deeply connected to social powers dynamic and identity, and how intersecting factors such as race, gender, class, and experience of harassments more complex for individuals than others. One of the key elements we wanted to focus on is intersectionality. Workplace harassment does not affect everyone equally. When an individual identity involves multiple marginalized groups, the harassment they experience can be even more severe and complex. For example, a woman of color may face both gender-based and race-based discrimination, which creates a unique experience of harassment. This intersectional perspective is important to consider in our action plan because it allows us to address harassment from multiple angles, recognizing the compounded effects of different forms of discrimination. Incorporating this perspective is crucial as we learn from the Brockett and Law that harassment is not only a personal experience, but also a reflection of a larger societal inequalities. Also, a reading from an article from Laura Goodray Cooper's But It's Your Job to Be Friendly further emphasized the unique challenges faced by employees in the service sector who often experience harassment from customers. Cooper's studies highlights how power dynamic, specifically in customer service roles, create situations where workers, particularly women and marginalized groups, are subjected to harassment without proper support or recourse. Now, the core elements of our action plan. For our action plan, Alyssa and I decided to take a created, accessible approach by using social media to educate. We created an Instagram post aimed at helping people to recognize on how to recognize workplace harassment. The post includes several key lessons that provide insights into how harassment can show up in various forms. Here's a breakdown of what we shared in the post. One, recognizing workplace harassment. We focused on making sure that individuals can identify harassment, whether it's verbal, physical, or psychological. The goal was to raise awareness about subtle forms of harassment that often go unnoticed. Number two, different forms of harassment. In the post, we listed different types of harassment employees might face, including discriminatory comments, exclusions from team activities, and unwelcome advances. This is important because harassment can take many forms, not only all of them are immediately obvious. Number three, understanding intersectionality. We highlighted the concept of intersectionality, explaining how different identities such as race, gender, sexual orientation, etc., intersect to create unique experiences of harassment. We wanted to raise awareness that some individuals may face compounded forms of harassment based on their identity. Number 4 is when to speak up. Another key lesson focused on when and how to speak up about harassment. We provided suggestions on how to approach the situation, including documenting incidents and seeking support, whether through HR or support networks. And also, lastly, number 5, empathy and allyship. We emphasize on the role of empathy and allyship in creating a harassment-free workplace. Allies can play a role in standing up for those who experience harassment and helping to create supportive environment for everyone. Even though we took an educational approach through social media, we emphasize that the real change requires accountability at all levels. As part of our action plan, we suggested creating restriction for the person being harassed to remove them from the situation, addressing harmful behaviors in a calm manner, reporting the incident to HR or someone who can provide appropriate support, and of course, raising awareness about the issue. Now, for the initial planning of the action plan, Alisa and I created a schedule of our timeline regarding our action plan. Most of our planning was done through private messaging, such as DM, Instagram, and Zoom calls. We used Canva to create the posters and the Instagram posts, and every once in a while throughout the week, we keep each other updated on what we're doing and what else needs to be done. So for the Instagram post, we did an Instagram post which had over 1,000 engagement, and over 56% of that engagement were non-followers, meaning that the outreach of our posts still outweighs the engagement of those who follows the Instagram account. We also did post it on our private page, in which I received private messages and those who have shared their thoughts, feedbacks regarding posts. Aside from digital footprint, we also created a physical poster in which we decided to do a myth versus reality regarding workplace harassment. And the images we used are women of different marginalized people. So going back to intersectionality. We also had a QR code in which people can scan, and it will lead them to the Instagram post we created where people can share their posts and thoughts. With this poster, we went around the York and Kiel campus and handed out the posters for them to look at, and we gave them our elevator pitch as to what our action was about and what we are aiming to accomplish in order to end workplace harassment. For those who didn't want any digital footprint, we had asked these individuals to share their thoughts in sticky notes, and we collected about 5 of them. Most of the people who gave the posters to only either scan the QR code or to like the Instagram post or to follow the GWST 4502 of account page. During our walk around the campus, most students were welcoming to listen to our campaign, but there were few who refused or worse throughout our poster after listening. But that didn't stop us. We still went on and toured around the campus. I am not from Kiel campus, thus I'm not quite familiar with places we visited, as it was my first time, but we visited quite a few buildings and we stayed there for at least 3 hours going around and handing out our posters. After the campus, I went to Prairie Mall to hand out a few more posters. I also gave some to my friends, families, some copies to hand out at their work, school, etc. I have received feedback from them, but they are all mixed feedback, such as some people refused, some people accepted the full poster, and some people were ready to listen, but some were not. But overall, the feedback was amazing. I believe that the turnaround of our action plan was great. It was eye-opening because we got to experience to voice out what we're trying to address and fight for. As for room for improvement, since we were pressed for time and we only had about a month of turnaround, we could have reached out internationally to strengthen our awareness and get more engagement. Overall, this action plan was life-changing in a way that we've never done before. Well, for me personally, and I think that we could have also done a lot more action. And yeah, that is all. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great summer. Bye.